You work hard in the gym. Your body only deserves the best. IsoJect by Evogen Nutrition, featuring Evozyme technology, ultimate in pure whey isolate.
Hani Rambod, I'm here with Justin Compton. I just flew in from San Jose, California late last night. We got a great hamstring workout in today. We're going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here and about the Arnold Classic prep for 2015. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good. I'm tired. It's been a long day. You know, we've had a really good workout. You know, it was tiring, and then we went to the chiropractor. You know, we get to see Ani got to see the guy. You meet the guy who works on me and stuff, and talk to him, and we could kind of talk about what needs to be done to improve me. We did a little bit of grocery shopping, you know, so he sees the type of food and the quality of food that I eat. And now we're getting ready to go over basically the starting point on my diet for the prep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great to see that you guys have a Whole Foods here.
Yep.
So you're able to get, you know, the clean foods, the organic grass-fed foods that you are able to prep on without having to go too far out of your way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of surprised by the fact that you guys have so many, you know, the newer stores and whatnot, because you always think, oh, Kentucky's kind of
people think we're behind, but we're not.
It's not. It's actually not. It's actually really nice out here. And so we talked a little bit about the fact that it's almost 12 weeks out. The chiropractor, obviously, I know a lot about chiropractic, being that my wife is a chiropractor. And, you know, he's using some grasping tools on you today. Was able to work on you there and work on a couple of spots that you've had some, you know, minor injuries with, and being able to help you with healing. So right now, you know, we talked a little bit about macros and talk about proteins, and, you know, as we kind of get deeper into this prep, you want to explain to everybody back home, kind of, they're out in front of their computers watching this, what exactly you're doing with your prep, because you and I both talked about this when you were back in San Jose about, you know, having your carbs higher, and then as you start tapering your carbs, increasing your proteins and changing up your fats. So why don't you tell everybody back home exactly how you do this?
I'm very particular on my diet. I have everything down to an exact T, so I know exactly what's going in every single day. And I'm on my computer right now, and I'm looking. You know, I have one column that has the food and the amount. The other column has the calories, the carbs, the fats, and the fiber. I basically keep, you know, this helps keep me sane. You know, I've been doing this long enough that if I wanted to just look at my diet on the fly, I can make a change. It's not a big deal. But, you know, I kind of like knowing the numbers. And I think before I actually put the numbers together, I think I was overeating on my protein values, because people don't take into consideration a lot of the indirect protein that you get. And this comes into play. We was talking about, you know, lowering. Your protein, it looks lower in the off season, but it's not really like, it's not that low, because I'm eating 420 grams a day right now, but, you know, like my meat size, the portions is 6 ounces. As we get into prep, you know, rather than having, you know, like my first meal where I'm having a cup and a half of oats and I'm getting, you know, 15 to 20 grams of protein, whenever we switch that to cream of rice or a faster burning carb where I'm only getting 3 or 4 grams, so the protein source in that's got to go up. You know, it's like the next meal where we're having yams, you know, we're going to lose probably 4 or 5 grams of protein there. So instead of 6 ounces of beef, we're going to push that to 8. Or, you know, we may switch it to, as we get closer, we'll switch to a faster burning source like fish. But, you know, essentially as the carbs go down, the direct protein is going to go up to compensate for that.
Well, you know, a lot of people tend to ask me a lot, you know, why fish, why chicken, why beef? And obviously they've all got their pluses and minuses when it comes to dieting. I mean, to be able to help with torque, beef works really well. So it helps with muscle torque, it's the natural creatines, it's got the fats, but it takes longer to digest. So therefore, a lot of people say, oh God, I've heard you guys talk about how it thins your skin or this or that. And the whole thinning the skin, we gotta talk a little bit about this, because it doesn't thin your skin. You feel like it thins your skin because of the digestibility of the protein, especially when you're doing higher amounts. So for all you, if it fits your macros people out there, or whoever's out there that's talking shit about, you know, eating fish while you're dieting, the reason why we do that, especially with guys the size of Justin or Phil or any of these guys, it's because the fact of the matter is you're taking in so much protein, especially when your carbs are at a lower level. You need to be able to digest the food faster so you can get to your next meal. And if you're doing that with beef or with just chicken, you're going to have problems because it takes longer to digest. Therefore, we use whitefish to be able to digest at a much higher fat, higher rate. So therefore, that's where some people feel like it might, thin their skin because of the digestibility. You're getting leaner, and you're not as bloated. So therefore, you don't hold as much water. But that's basically the long and short of it.
Yeah, the fish, obviously, when you eat it, no one could deny if you eat an 8-ounce steak versus, an 8-ounce piece of cod, you're going to be hungry 45 minutes after eating the cod versus eating the steak. So you're able to digest it faster. It makes your body burn quicker, enhancing your metabolism. So really, you're actually getting leaner from the diet. You're not getting leaner directly from eating the fish itself. Everything has to come together for a reason. Like, you can't just eat fish and all of a sudden you're going to get shredded. There's a process to it.
Yeah,
and there's reasonings why.
Exactly. And again, to just reiterate what he was also mentioning regarding the protein levels, when you're doing off-season programs and you don't see these gigantic spikes in protein, it's because a lot of your protein is also coming from the fats or the carb sources. So when you're doing 100 grams of carbs from oatmeal, you've got protein in there, quite a bit of protein. But when you're down to 20 or 30 grams of carbs, 40 grams of carbs per meal, then you're obviously, just like the carbs are down, so is the ratio to carbs to protein, so therefore we're making it up in other ways, whether it's egg whites, chicken, fish, steak, whatever. So therefore, that's why when you're doing high amounts of carbs, then you can cut back on your protein so much because there's so much residual protein in those carbs.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of how, my philosophies on how I do things. I mean, I like just having it charted out. It kind of makes, mentally makes things easier for me, but that's the bare principles behind it.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're getting together again. It's 12 weeks out this weekend.
Yeah, this season's 12 weeks out. It's go time.
Yeah, so cardio is going to start pretty soon here in the next couple of days. Changing up the subs, changing up kind of when he's taking CellChem versus AminoJect, being that we're introducing new supplements to the whole protocol. Carnogen, when does liposide kick in? All the fat burners, the carnitine, all of these principles are added in at certain times for certain reasons. They're not just, everything is just, you don't just inundate your system with it, because if you start introducing your fat burners too soon, your metabolism is going to burn out, your body's going to get used to it, and it's going to be no longer effective. So therefore, there's a time and place, and there's a reason why I came up with AminoJect as well, because there's a time and place when I need to start cutting back on the nitric oxide substrates as well as the creatine that is in CellChem. So therefore, that's why there is a product that's balancing out CellChem, which is now AminoJect, which is it's a great branched chain amino product, but there's a rhyme and a reason for everything we do. Otherwise, it's not like, okay, there's 10 different products, let me just take everything under the sun. We actually deliberately stage everything at certain times, and just like we do with beef versus fish. You don't just sit there at 12 weeks out and start hitting 5 meals of fish a day. We taper it in as we get closer to the shows. So, we know each other's philosophies. We're working together on this, and that's what's going to make this such a great prep.
Yeah, I mean, the supplement wise, we're not really going to be doing that much right off the bat. I mean, there's no reason for me to take, 2 or 3 liposides a day at 12 weeks out whenever I know that I can just simply make just some easy dietary manipulations, and my metabolism is going to pick up. I'm going to start burning fat. Then we add cardio in. When things start to slow down, that's when you start supplementing to pick it up and go further. I mean, if I started right off the bat, what am I going to do at 4 weeks out? I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, that used to be a philosophy, I think, about 10 years ago. Everybody would start off with 2 hours of cardio, hour in the morning, hour at night, 12 weeks out, start low carb diets, and just burn off all the muscle. And I used to sit there and cringe when I used to hear it, because at the end of the day, you're either starting off way too fat if you had to do that, or you just didn't have the right information. So therefore, what you need to do is you need to create stages so that when you hit those plateaus, that you can make the changes, whether diet related, supplement related, cardio related, training related, all those things, so that you don't hit the roadblocks. You just constantly keep improving. So that's what the process is all about.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's why I haven't really. I did cardio, into my off season a little bit, and then as I knew that I was going to be starting prep in a couple of months, I purposely killed it out. That way, that's like a new tool that I can reintroduce whenever prep starts back up.
Yeah. And today, what we did was we did hamstrings. Tomorrow, we're going to do some chest and also some delt. We're going to do from front and side delt. And we're going to work on, just while I'm here, what those weak parts are that we need to be able to emphasize. We started doing hamstrings twice a week since we started working together about a month ago. How's that going?
I think, we've already made some significant improvements in it. I'm having one day that's just, I'll hold my whole upper leg. I'm going to be doing quads and hams. I'm actually going to be starting the leg workout with hams always, just because my quads have never really been an issue. They grow, in relation to the hamstrings, they outgrow them very fast. So we're going to be starting with hams, and then we're going to consider more of an ancillary day or an accessory day. That two body parts we wanted to see really pop out a lot more was the hamstrings and the rear delts. So a midweek on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and then we're gonna be doing a little bit of rear delts, maybe some side delt, and we're gonna add in hamstrings. And then on Saturdays is typically my leg day, so that's the full blown leg workout. So I'm actually getting in hams twice a week, and I'll be getting in a little bit of shoulders on chest day as well.